WTBA Open.
Welcome to the Stepladder finals of the WTBA International Open. My name is Herbert Bickel. I'm the editor of Bowlingdigital.com, and I'm here in the booth with four-time PBA champion Sean Roush. Welcome, Sean.
Thank you, Herbert. Glad to be here, and it's a beautiful scenery. We're ready for some great bowling today.
Yeah, Laurent Falke is a son of the Falke family, host of the Brunswick Euro Challenge, introduces the players. The WTBA International Open was contested at Sunset Station in Las Vegas at the end of January, beginning of February, and the top three players are here in Paris to bowl the Stepladder final for $20,000 top prize.
Yeah, it's a good start off to the Brunswick Euro Challenge. One of these three players is going to come home with 20 grand, get used to the building, and be ready to bowl for another couple $1,000 here in a couple days. So
we will have the Stepladder finals.
Is it 4 or 5?
We will do a special walk-on donc on va applaudir les gens qui vont arriver. Ils vont arriver juste au milieu, donc si je peux demander aux gens de garder le tapis rouge et de les encourager. On the third place, 47 PBA national titles, 7-time Players of the Year, and over $4 million of prize money won in his life.
So the Stepladder finals today features two of the best players from the PBA Tour and certainly one of the best players from the PBA Women's Series. The number 3 seed is arguably one of the best players ever in PBA history. 47-time PBA champion Walter Ray Williams Jr., a 7-time PBA champion, PBA Player of the Year, sorry, and a 3-time world champion as well.
Yeah, he will always be one of the best bowlers ever to walk the planet. The guy doesn't miss spares. He stays consistent. He's been doing this for so long, and I'm looking forward to him to retire.
Yeah, and another PBA Player of the Year, another WTBA World Champion is the number 2 seed, and that's Chris Barnes. He will meet Walter Ray Williams in the opening match.
Yeah, Chris has been, considered one of the best for the last 10 or 15 years, and he can do anything with a bowling ball, whether it's going up the lane or hooking it around the whole building, it seems like. So it'll be interesting to see how these three play the pattern.
Yeah, we will have some time during practice to talk about how they reached the finals. And here is the number 1 seed,
Liz Johnson.
Liz Johnson, the first woman ever who won a PBA regional title and almost the first who won a PBA title. She's a 2-time world champion as well. So a very elite field for the Stepladder finals to kick off the Brunswick Euro Challenge.
Yeah, Liz is somebody that is kind of the sleeper in this whole thing. Liz is so good at keeping the ball in play, making spares, and in this format that we bowled back in January in Las Vegas, that's what it was. It was survival. There were so many great players in there, and Liz got very comfortable at what she likes to do most, playing right, and she just out-bowled everybody, and she is very, very good. And Liz and I go way back. We've been friends for a long time. She's actually my doubles partner in the Lucy Bonneau doubles in Houston, Texas. And it's just a blast to be able to be not just her partner, but just be a friend of hers.
Yeah, and the weird thing is that Liz even gets 6 pins handicap in this game.
Yeah, the women were guaranteed 6 pins a game when we were going through qualifying and the match play and the semifinals and finals. But if people look at the top 16 players that bowled in this, she out-averaged them in as well. I mean, it wasn't like she needed those bonus pins. She was able to beat them straight up.
She finished the last round, that was round 3, with 1382 scratch. So that outscored Chris and Walter Ray, who finished with 1367 and 1363. But did you remember how Chris made the TV show? I mean, this was amazing.
Chris has done this before in the past where he's gone from a certain number to making a show, either shooting 300 or 290. And, I mean, I've seen him do it plenty of times. It actually reminds me of when Jason Belmonte last year in Thailand was in 9th position going into the last game as well. He shot 300 and actually went around everybody and became the #1 seed. So the best thing about Chris Barnes is he never gives up. You know, as long as there's bowling left to go, he's going to keep going. So I look forward to some great bowling today, and you know, it'll come down probably to the 10th frame every game today.
Yeah, I saw them practicing earlier today when we set up for the live streaming, and they alternated on lanes 15 and 16 where we'll bowl the finals on. So they scored 296 on the left lane and 260 something on the right.
It's pretty good. Comes back to what we were talking about during the introductions is, you know, Chris and Walter will go down as two of the best players the game's ever seen on the male side. And Liz Johnson, by far, is one of the best females on the women's side. So they all three know how to play. The interesting part is all three of them are very good at playing straight. So it'll actually be interesting to see if anybody uses any surface to break up the front part of the lane and force somebody to get farther in. If that's the case, the advantage goes to Chris Barnes. He's able to go a little farther left to right than Liz is and Walter. You know, but with Walter getting a little older, he's able to slow the ball speed down a little bit more and go left to right more than he has in the past.
And there's no better player than you to be in the booth with me. You made 5 consecutive TV finals earlier this season during the PBA World Series of Bowling. That's unmatched. That's a record for PBA. And you bowled in the WTBA International Open, and you have even some experience with Liz Johnson having some pins handicapped.
Yeah, you know, it's fun coming over here to Europe and bowling with the women, even though we give them 6 pins a game. You know, if more of the United States women came over here, it'd be tough to beat them. 6 pins is 6 pins. You know, 1 game match, it might not seem like a lot, but when it comes to 6 game blocks or 8 game blocks, those pins start to add up. And you better be able to strike, because these women know how to play and they can strike. So, you know, bowling the WTBA Open back in Vegas, qualified well, but qualifying is a whole different process when you get into the finals. And you know, when you get to the finals and you have the better players and the people that made it through, unfortunately, I played them wrong completely in the semifinals, and I finally moved right to where these guys will probably play, and bowled a big game. And I kind of wish I would have done that a little sooner and watched Walter, because I might be able to move on a little bit. But you know, we've got a great field. We're looking forward to some great bowling, and somebody's going to be excited here about 6, 7 o'clock tonight our time.
Besides being an event on the World Bowling Tour, the WTBA International Open did not offer a PBA title for the winner. The Brunswick Euro Challenge does, because the cooperation between the PBA and the WTBA was
correct
right at that time when the WTBA International Open happened. So you will have a chance later this week to win your 5th PBA title. Sean has a very impressive TV record. He started his career with a 4-0 record on TV, so he won all 4 titles and never lost.
You know, it was great to start TV. Unfortunately, lately I've had some hiccups. At the same time, I've been out bowled. But the biggest thing about being on tour, even bowling events here in Europe or in Asia, is giving yourself a chance to get there. You know, that's the success of bowlers, is really how many times they get to TV. And you look at Walter Ray, he's got 47 PBA national titles. He's won all over the world. He's got about 50 or 60 second place finishes as well. Chris Barnes, another great example, 12, 13 PBA tour titles. And he's got 20 or 30 second place finishes just on tour alone. But he's got multiple victories around the world. He's got multiple television shows around the world. And that's the success of being a great player, is giving yourself a chance to win. Mm-hmm. And that's the most that I can take out of the World Series back in Vegas in November was I bowled well. I had a great opportunity to, at the end of the day, win. And I I'd rather be in that position than sitting in the back watching somebody else have a chance to win.
Yeah, it was a shame to see that so little number of players from Asia and Europe were in Las Vegas, while the PBA pros now travel the world. You just, like most of the pros were here in Paris at Maximin to play. Just let me explain to the people at home. The finals of the WTBA International Open are played in conjunction with the Brunswick Euro Challenge, a World Bowling Tour event and a European Bowling Tour event that takes place this week at Maximin, about 60 kilometers outside of Paris. And most of the PBA players who are here, about 20, 25 or even more, just came in from Kuwait. So
Correct.
Where you bowled in the Kuwait Open.
Yeah, I would have to guess you're going to, whether they're considered PBA players, the people that are here, they bowl for a living. And they're professional athletes to me. And, you got players from Asia coming, from Team Malaysia. You've got the European stars, Oscu and Martin. It's a shame that Jason Belmonte is not going to be here. He normally would be. He's had a lot of success here, but hats off to him and his wife Kimberly, getting ready to have their second child soon. But the WTBA and the PBA merging, pretty much it seems like adding tournaments together was a good step in the right direction to make a world tour successful. Hopefully create sponsorships and global television, and you're going to get your best players at the end of the week here.
So the standings after before this final takes place is Mika Koivuniemi leads the men's rankings in the World Bowling Tour point rankings. Mike Fagan is second. Chris Barnes is third. And here my friend Sean is in fourth position. The women's rankings is dominated by US players. Kelly Kulik leads, Missy Parkin is second, Liz Johnson third, and Carolyn Doran-Bellot in fourth position.
Yeah, the United States players, because there's only a few events actually for women that is separated for them, I would think in the next couple of years there's going to be more events for women around the world for them to bowl, and you'll start seeing more Asians and more European players into that top 5, top 10 statistic. But last year Nina Flack and Sandra Anderson, both from Sweden and Europe, were in the top 3. So they don't travel as much to the United States as Carolyn travels to Europe, or Kelly or Liz does. So. But, for me, finishing in fourth right now so far, there's still plenty of events left to catch Mika and Fagan and Chris. Mika had such a big lead, from last year. Fagan has bowled phenomenal in the last, whatever it is, 7 or 8 World Tour events. He's got no lower than an 8th place finish, and he's got a win and a couple second places, and Chris has bowled well as well. So, this week, hopefully I can come home with a victory on Sunday and put a little dent into how far I'm behind Chris and the rest of the guys.
Yeah, the World Bowling Tour point ranking consists of all tournaments from 2011 to 2012.
Correct.
So that's how Mika built his lead, because he was far ahead in 2011. Now the 2012 tour is much bigger than the 2011 tour. Lots of more events, even though the Bahamas Classic was postponed last week, but there are still plenty of tournaments to go until the end of the season, and the top 3 will go to the WTBA playoffs, to the finals during the World Series of Bowling later this year.
Yeah, I mean, there's tournaments still all around the world. I mean, I plan on bowling all of them. Probably going to have to skip 1 or 2 here just because of conflicts or other things going on, but anytime you have a chance to be on television, you want to be there. So I know last year Mika and I were the only 2 that really chased it and traveled around. So, but
let's see what happens. For now, 10 minutes of practice are over. That means Liz will sit and wait. Who will be the challenger, Walter Williams or Chris Barnes? By the way, we have a different lane pattern here. It is the same pattern as it was in Las Vegas. It's
correct.
The WTBA Atlanta pattern, which is the shortest of the medium pattern, 38 foot long, but it's completely different to what we had in
Vegas. Well,
Vegas.
yeah. The biggest thing about bowling is that the lane is invincible. You know, you have oil out there, but you can't tell what's really going on. And every time a shot is thrown, the lane is going to change. Plus, the friction surface of this bowling center compared to Las Vegas at Sunset Station is completely different as well.
Yeah. So it's the same name of the pattern, but different oil,
building, different atmosphere,
lane, everything.
You know, they were all bowling well back in Vegas a couple months ago. Somebody might be bowling better now than they were then, or they could be bowling vice versa, a little bit worse. So, but after last week, Chris was actually in Kuwait, threw it okay, but I'm sure he's looking forward to rebounding and bowling a little bit better today. Players are finishing up practice. They both get one last ball on each lane. Chris is the number 2 seed, so he'll get a chance to pick who starts and who finishes the match.
What do you think?
Well, my first year on tour, and when I made my first show, Chris has always been a friend of mine and a great mentor when I started bowling for money and bowling on tour. He always said if you're the higher seed, you want to finish first. The reason why is it gives you a chance to put pressure on that other person or close them out. Especially on television and the PBA, coming out of commercial also makes a big difference. You know, you don't want to be that first guy throwing that shot. And I would have to anticipate that Walter Ray will start the match on the left lane and Chris will start on the right. Chris will finish the match first, and he'll try to put the pressure on Walter to close it out. So,
but both players are very familiar with pressure situations. Walter Ray, 47 titles, 30 regional titles, and even senior titles, and he bowls everything.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I can't wait for him to retire. I'm tired of losing him to him on the national tour. Walter Ray, though, has been around for a long time for a reason. He's very good at what he does. And here we go, first frame, Walter Ray starting the match.
Almost a 7-10. Is he still the best spare shooter in the PBA, as he was for years?
You know, some things have changed. He's had some wrist issues lately. He's changed his span over the last probably course of the year. I would still say he's one of the top 5, if not top 3. A 9 spare start, not terrible. Could have been a little bit worse.
So Chris Barnes, who threw a 300 game in the last game in Las Vegas to jump from 9th to 2nd. An amazing move. He will start on the right lane and then bowl the second frame on the left.
Good shot there by Chris. Came up a little high. I'm sure he'll make a small adjustment when he gets back over there. All 3 of them broke the pattern down between 5 and 10. They stayed right. They didn't want to mess up the front part of the lane. None of them really have a high rev rate that's going to affect the way the lane changes anyway, but at the same time they want to create as much hold and as much hook right as possible. Great shot there.
Yeah.
Ball hit the 4 pins it's supposed to, the 1, 3, 5, 9.
So that is what you said before. So now the pressure is already on Walter Ray Williams.
Pressure is already on because he didn't strike the first ball. And
same shot.
Same shot, 7-10 split. And he sees himself down 20 pins after 2 frames. So not the start that Walter Ray was looking for. Most important thing here is to get 1, maybe get lucky and bounce 1 out.
Going for 1, and a big chance for Chris Barnes.
Absolutely. Anytime your opponent opens, you want to make the best shot possible, but hopefully throw a strike too. Good one there.
Yeah. Okay.
Good shot there. Ball faced up a little bit sooner.
Yeah, but of course he's not happy with the first 2 frames.
No, because he knows he's in trouble.
Yeah.
I mean, the scoring pace is going to be high, so he knows that he needs at least 250 to 260, and right now his max score is 267. He realizes he probably can't miss.
Yeah, and he bowled the practice this morning with Chris, and Chris was lined up during practice as well, so that's already a 33-pin lead almost.
Chris Barnes, sponsored by Columbia Bowling. I believe he is throwing an Omen right now.
And there is number 4.
4th frame.
So, Walter Ray and you and a lot of other pros of Brunswick staff.
And Brunswick staff member Walter Ray
had a youth clinic this afternoon. So
just
how
wrapped
was it?
up. Just wrapped up with 40 to 50 youth players here from the local area. It's an opportunity to give back, which is always a lot of fun in my opinion. Trip 4.
Yeah. Lucky break for Walter Ray. And he really needs this and the next one as well.
Well, if that one doesn't strike there, he's down 40 or 50. So.
Yeah.
Walter Ray asking for a re-rack. Easiest thing to do is just...
Yeah, there's the president. No better man to ask. President of the WTBA, Kevin Dornberger of the United States, sitting right behind. It's his tournament. It's the first tournament actually owned by the World 10-Pin Bowling Association. They organized it in Las Vegas and even arranged the finals, and the top 3 got expenses paid trips to Paris, which is nice.
Yeah, well, the best thing about that was because of the cooperation from Brunswick. Brunswick is actually the ones that took care of all the expenses for the 3 players.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah. Nice little bonus.
Nice
Especially
little bonus.
with, Walter Ray is a Brunswick guy, so that's, we love to have our Brunswick people here.
Yeah, and I doubt that Walter Ray Williams was outside the U.S., if not for Team USA.
Correct. Not very often Walter will travel around the world, but he has been known to travel quite a bit.
Just because I mentioned that, Chris Barnes and Liz Johnson have both won on the European Bowling Tour already.
Correct.
And of course, Walter Ray is using the opportunity to bowl in the Brunswick Euro Challenge this week.
Good shot there.
That's number 5 for Chris. And I would love to show you a 300 game at the beginning of this week. We will have another live streaming of the Brunswick Euro Challenge later this week. So check out bowlingdigital.com for all the results. Sean and a couple of other PBA players had a nice evening yesterday.
Yeah. I'm hoping you're talking about me and I'm not sitting here in the booth on Sunday during the finals.
That was the plan, actually. So I asked Chuck to get you here for the WTBA International Open, because I said, okay, you're already qualified for the finals. What do you have, 14-20, 14-23 yesterday?
I had a little bit more. I bowled 14-88, but I was 3rd in the squad.
You was 3rd, yeah.
6-bagger for Chris Barnes. Knows those are important shots there, because if he misses at any time, he gives Walter a little bit of breathing room. And
no breathing room for Walter Ray.
Yeah. Even though Walter is down 33 pins, every frame matters still. It always matters to put pressure on your opponent.
Yeah. If he strikes out, it's still a 267.
267, I think, is not enough. Unfortunately, the 710, I think, is going to come back and haunt Walter Ray.
Gets this run, yeah. But he's still trying, and that's different to most of the tournaments.
When the scoring pace is high, all you can think about is making great shots. You can't worry about what your opponent's going to do, because you know that, especially when you're facing someone like Chris Barnes, he's going to make a good shot every time. And realize that sometimes they fall your way and sometimes they don't. Seventh frame here. Greek church.
Okay. The Greek church in the 7th frame means
it's over.
It's over.
Chris would have to open the last 4 frames and Walter would have to strike out. That shot there, watching the replay, it looked like it was a little bit left, possibly slow. Walter throwing the double X Nexus, which is the strongest ball in our line. Anytime it's a little slow. Oh, he made it.
God. Okay. Yeah. Okay, that's more applause than Chris got for his side. I mean, this is great. He spared the Greek church. Okay, so the hope is still alive, but
well, now there's still a possibility, because it actually makes Chris mark the rest of the game. Before, it was Chris could do whatever he wanted the next couple frames, maybe experiment with another ball. Chris is thinking great shot here, though. Throw a strike.
Okay, he gets this one as well.
That one pretty much almost gives him the win there, but that there for Chris is what people actually thinks is his miss, but it's not really his miss. It just gets a little fast. There's a lot of us on tour that we'd rather throw it hard than throw it slow in Big Four. We'd rather miss and maybe leave a 2-pin, which is a lot easier to make, of course. And that one looked a little fast to me. It got down the lane a little bit longer before it turned over, and he got the shaker 4-pin to fall. So
it's all about how high.
Well, yeah, I mean, if you're going to miss, you want to leave something you can make.
Yeah. Okay. That's number 8.
Front 8. This game has been completed score-wise. I mean, of course, max score for Walter Ray now is 242, and Chris Barnes can shoot 300. But Chris is thinking good shots, Flat 10 for Walter.
Sure, he hates it, but it's still 8,000 for 3rd place. So
good start to the week.
Yeah, exactly. And Walter Ray was not among the top 4 yesterday's squad, but he made it. He was 8th with 1,357, which should be
a good score. It should be right around the bubble right now, is what people are thinking. Yeah. I think scores are going to be a little higher than that, but you know,
2 big scores yesterday. Tom Hess, USBC Masters champion, as well as Sean is. And Dino Castillo, also a Team USA member.
Yeah.
Former Team USA member.
I mean, if you look at their last 3 games, 257, 289, 257 for Tom Hess.
That's an 817 for Dino even.
And Dino bowled
277,
264,
and 276.
Pretty good bowling.
Well, finished with 1533 and 1531. Sean was 3rd, was 1488, and Tommy Jones had a 1420 and left the 10-pin. Okay.
Well, that shot there got a little bit right, came off the spot pretty hard. Got the messenger to go across the deck, missed the 10-pin, unfortunately. Sometimes it's the best miss, though, is to not shoot 300. Being lazy there, a little excited, a little fast. Good thing for Chris Barnes is the game's already over.
And here's the score.
Walter Ray being on the top there, max score of 231. Chris Barnes on the bottom already has 237. Good shot there after the mistake, missing the spare. I'm sure Chris is not happy missing the spare. It's one of the things he prides himself on, like Walter does, is being a great spare shooter. And I'm sure what he's trying to think now is let's make a couple good shots. Got one more game left, hopefully, to win the title against Liz Johnson, but he wants to get his mind back in the right frame of mind.
Strike number 10. So one left.
Another good one. Liz Johnson getting a good luck there from PBA Tour rep from Brunswick, Chuck Gardner, practicing down on lane 25 and 6.
And strike number 11 in the semi-final match between Chris Barnes and Walter A. Williams. Final score, Chris Barnes 267. And let's see if Walter A. can finish with 231.
Good shot there by Walter.
Yeah, most probably the best in this game, but it doesn't matter.
Couple shots behind.
Yeah.
The slow start definitely put him in, rock bottom of making sure he had to strike.
But what I think what the people here will keep in mind is that he spared the Greek church. I mean,
the only thing you remember about this game is not that Chris Barnes had the front 8 and shot 267 to win. It was Walter Ray made the Greek church.
Yeah, this is what people will talk about, as usual. The bad or the good things, but sometimes it's just the way it is. Okay, at least this is a very rare stepladder match that we're going to watch in Europe. Yeah, Chris Barnes and Walter A. Williams, and that's typical. It's not typical for the PBA, and it got to on this one. Come on.
All right.
Good show. Final score of the semifinal match. Chris Barnes beats Walter A. Williams 267-231 and advances to the title match against Liz Johnson. We will be back in a few minutes. Liz will get 2 balls practice on each lane.
Yeah, probably a couple balls on each lane, which is always right and always fair. The game has transitioned and changed over the last game.
So, people stay tuned. We will be back in a few minutes.
So, Liz will have 2 balls on each lane of practice. Liz Johnson aura 2 boules de practice sur chaque piste.
Survived. What? Where they? They're on their way to the train now. O'Neill. At least Bill O'Neill's listening to your watching your telecast.
Bill?
Yeah.
Good. So we say hello to him later.
Yeah.
We do this.
He was busting on my bald spot. Because my bald spot's magnified.
Yeah. Say hello to Billy.
Hey, Prince William.
Saw that.
Easy on the bald spot, buddy. Easy on the bald spot. Brent talked about dinner?
No, he just waved at me. I haven't even had a chance to say hi to him.
I didn't talk to him. I just...
You could really see that. That's it.
So, we wish Chris Barnes and Liz Johnson good luck.
So welcome to the title match of the WTBA International Open here at Plaza Bowl in Saint-Maximin in France. The tournament is held in conjunction with the Brunswick Euro Challenge, which is underway since last week and will finish on Sunday. So we will have a live streaming of the Stepladder finals of the Brunswick Euro Challenge next Sunday. My name is Herbert Bickel. I'm the editor of Bowlingdigital.com, and I'm here with four-time PBA champion Sean Rash, Brunswick staffer. And in the finals,
Here we go. Liz Johnson deciding to start the match.
okay,
Meaning her couple balls of practice, she liked what the right lane was doing. Goes back to the same kind of strategy, though, that Chris is probably happy with this move, that he gets to finish the match first, put the pressure on Liz if it is a close game. And, you know, it's a lot easier to win on the bench than throwing it for the cheese. So
yeah, Chris is off from a great start against Walter Ray Williams. Won the first match 267-231 against Walter Ray Williams. So he will get an additional 10 points for the world rankings. They were updated after the WTBA International Open
Kuwait
preliminaries in January, February. They each got 40 points. But Chris is now the men's ranking winner
Correct.
of that tournament. He will get 50 points, so we will add another 10 points after the finals. You can check out the World Bowling Tour rankings as well as the European Bowling Tour rankings on bowlingdigital.com, and we will cover the Brunswick Euro Challenge live this week.
Ooh.
Bad break for Chris.
Well, that one comes up a little high. This is the really bad 4-6, where it should have probably been a 4-9. Liz must have saw something on this lane that Chris was seeing through practice. That's why she put him over there to finish. Honestly, watching Chris throw that shot, it looked like his balance was a little off. So normally when balance is off, since I know a lot about having bad balance at times, you normally miss left. And, you know, takes a high look at that one. He doesn't think it was that bad of a shot. So I'm anticipating him making a little move when he gets back over there in the fourth frame.
Important shot for Liz now.
Absolutely. Filling frames is the keys to victories in title matches. That shot's also left.
Yeah.
3-6-10, ball red soon. Good thing for her, she has a makeable spare.
That was almost Brooklyn, which would have hurt Chris a lot more.
Yeah, the Brooklyn would sting. Opportunity here to make the spare, take a 12-pin lead if she throws a strike in the third.
And keep in mind, she gets 6 pins handicap this game, and she misses it.
Chops the spare. So even through 2, but because of the 6 bonus pins, Liz is still ahead by 6. So basically we just had 2 practice balls for each player and went down to an 8-frame game.
And this is for the $20,000 top prize, and the second place, just half of it, $10,000. So
Yeah, big difference. You know,
Yep.
20,000s can do a lot of things. So good shot there. Good rebound for Liz. Throwing a great shot on the left lane. Probably disappointed missing the spare, knowing she could have put a little hurting on Chris early. Chris knows he got a break there with the missed spare, but
yeah, sometimes you see those games where one of the 2 players strikes on the right lane and the other strikes on the left, which is...
so far that's the way it looks like. Chris was pretty dialed in on the right lane the first game. It's close.
And gets it.
Very good shot there. His tempo was better. You can see that he was well balanced at the line. like I said, I would anticipate Chris making a small move here. It's not going to be a lot.
So you rather move or change speed rather than change ball?
His ball speed will stay the same. His ball, he's not going to change balls. I would anticipate he probably moved one left with his feet, kept his eyes the same, and just created a little bit more angle through the front part of the lane.
Oh, much better. And the first double.
First double of the match, yeah.
Yep. But he still can beat his score from the first by 1 pin.
Same amount of strikes, beat his first game by 1. Liz Johnson back on the right lane. That's a good shot. It's got to hook a little bit.
Not enough. A 2-4. Well, now the pressure is on Liz.
Yeah, Liz there probably felt like that was pretty good. Ball didn't roll up in the mid lane, leaving the light 2-4. Makeable spare, though. Spare for Liz Johnson. So Liz moving over to the left lane now, which is her good lane so far. Good shot. High flush, 10 in the pit. So far, Liz Johnson 3 for 3 on the left, and one good shot on the right lane, one bad shot on the right lane. Opportunity advantage. Chris Barnes here put some pressure on Liz, knowing that her next shot is on the right lane. So a little slow.
A little high and gets the 4-pin and 3 in a row.
That's a big break there for Chris. Caught a little at the bottom, read the front part of the lane. Picked up a lot sooner than he was anticipating. Tripping the 4 at the very end puts him in a 10-pin lead through 3, but can go up 20 with a strike in the 6th.
Back on the left lane, where he got the strike in frame 4 and
he's only
4-6.
Only missed once so far in a game and a half. So
great shot.
Great shot there by Chris, taking full advantage of tripping the 4-pin. I would anticipate the right lane making a small move for Chris as well, just like he did when he got back on the left lane after he 4-6'd.
So, including the handicap, she's down by 14 pins.
Yeah, this is do or die here.
Yeah, she must figure out the right lane, and she doesn't. Oh, she almost got me.
That was lucky. Went from 3-6-10 to 3-10 to 10-pin. So, unfortunately, though,
still not enough for her.
She's going to be down 30 going into the last 3-4 frames.
And Chris will be back on
the right lane.
On the right lane first, and if he throws another one, Liz will be in deep trouble.
Yeah, she's really happy she's on the left lane right now. Question to me right now, just watching, and this is what bowlers go through all the time when we're on TV matches, is what lane you want to start on and what lane you want to finish on. And she must have saw something on that right lane that she liked that right now I can't tell what it was, because 3 shots she hasn't struck yet on the right, and she's 4 for 4 now on the left. She's probably kicking herself too.
Yeah, maximum score is 228 for Liz. Plus the handicap will be 234,
which allows Chris to realistically miss twice, fill in frames, and throw a couple strikes with max score opportunities. Chris is just looking one frame at a time now, right now, though. One good shot. Keep the pressure on, but took a re-rack. He must not like what he saw down lane. Little kid screaming in the background there.
But even this doesn't disturb Chris Barnes. 5-bagger. And in the 7th frame, it's now 30 minus the handicap. It's 20-24, and it's increasing because he's working on 2 strikes, and Liz is just another spare in the 6th frame.
This is the one he wants because he knows here if he goes spare in the 9th and 10th, it's over.
This is not what people want to have when they bowl against Chris Bond, that he feels comfortable and you're in trouble.
Chris is a strategist. He loves to plan out the future. Missed it. Oh, hell.
And still got it.
So,
yeah.
I think he knows he got away with one there. It was on line and hit his target. He missed it a little bit at the bottom. You could see the ball was rolling end over end more than it had the previous couple shots.
Yeah. Jumped on that, and he gave Liz a little bit room in the 2nd frame, and she opened as well.
Ball change by Liz Johnson.
And, yep, strike on the right lane, her first in that match. But as we can see, the score 148 for Chris in the 6th frame, 108 for Liz plus 6 handicap.
114. She's down 34 pins.
34 pins.
She has to have them all. This has got to be a strike.
Oh, and that's a bad one.
3-6-10, and Chris Barnes, you can see winning on the bench realistically in the 9th frame. Max score now for Liz Johnson's 204 plus 6 would be 210 if she converts here. Which she slides it in front of it.
So it'll be 98. And
yeah. Missing there took all the pressure off in the world for Chris. So Chris gets to pretty much enjoy these last 2 frames. Hopefully puts on a little show and strikes out.
Too short.
Yeah.
Gets another 9-pin in the 9th frame. That was his only
he was a flat
non-strike
10 there,
in the first game against Walter Williams.
And he missed it again. Oh
no! Yeah, yeah. Thank you. Heads off for Chris Barnes, who will win the WTBA International Open and the $20,000 top prize.
Well, normally after somebody wins, they celebrate and they buy their, compadres a round of drinks. But Chris won't buy anybody any drinks, and he'll ask everybody to buy him drinks tonight. So,
okay,
great bowling by Chris. You can see that he had a game plan, and Liz is gonna go ahead and finish up a little out of turn, which is okay.
Yeah. That is the way it is for most of the top seeds. The top seed is the only one who can lose, actually. And she did not figure out the right lane. Yeah, it was just one strike, and that's in high-scoring conditions. That's just not enough.
It's not going to cut it out here. Not when you're bowling somebody like Chris Barnes that, unfortunately, coming off the 267, I think Liz knows that she needed a big game to win, and it'll be interesting to hear her thought process on why she chose to finish on the right lane.
Yeah. Anyway, that was a great final here at Plaza Bowl in Maximin.
Chris asking the crowd to clap for Liz. She was the #1 seed. She out-averaged everyone back in Vegas.
Yeah, bowled a great tournament and finished second. Worth $10,000. A hug and a kiss for Chris, who will win this tournament with a score of maximum 237. I'm most probably
247.
sorry, 247. Yeah, I've already 237. Yeah. So 245. Okay. Final score: Chris Barnes 245. Liz Johnson 182 plus 6 handicap 188 for Liz. And here's Lauren Walker with a trophy for Chris Barnes. He is the winner of the first WTBA International Open. Thanks folks for watching. I say goodbye and hope you enjoyed it, and we'll be back next Sunday when we will have the live streaming of the Brunswick Euro Challenge. Hopefully, with my friend Sean Rush among the
final three. That would be the
who
that's
will
the
bowl
goal.
there. Otherwise, he might be back in the booth, but I'm sure you're hoping it will be the other way around.
Yeah, I would definitely love to be in the final three on Sunday afternoon. I came here to win, of course, just like everyone else. I mean, I don't know anybody that comes here not to win. So
if you would win, this would be his 5th PBA title, as this is the 2nd international title since the cooperation of the WTBA and the PBA.
I would like to thank everybody who was here.
Kevin Dornberger, second from left, president of the World Champion Bowling
Thank you very much.
Association. Brent Perrier
from Brunswick.
From Brunswick.
He's my boss.
Yeah, here, Sean's boss.
Glad he's here.
Yeah, he always made it. I think he likes to come to the Brunswick Euro Challenge. He was always there since the beginning. That's the 9th edition. I think I've seen him every time.
Yeah, Brunswick's a great supporter of bowling worldwide. I mean, when you think of bowling, you think of Brunswick.